you got realism settings and normal, expert and custom. Here's your realism settings. I've got it set to alternate plane visibility ticked on, and that says enhanced aircraft visibility far away. Quite a hot topic right now. Let's have a look what we can see. Alright, I've got the icons now turned on. Up here we've got a huge dogfight somewhere, and I'm looking for it right now. I'm going to fly past the dogfight. I'm going to kind of fly a beam. I'm going to fly a beam the dogfight. It's taking place, so I'm going to fly a beam the dogfight, and when you get, so basically I'm going to just show what it looks like from different distances. I can see an aircraft there now. The icons are on, but obviously you can't see the icons. Why not? There it is there with a zoom in and with a zoom out. There's an icon. That one's under 10 kilometers. So anything that's under 9.5 kilometers, 9,500 meters, about 2.5 miles, you get, I think, don't quote me on that, you get whatever 10 k's is, you get divide by 1.6, you get and he's lost his icon, and I can see some tracer there. Or is it? No, it's a plane. So within 9.5 kilometers you get icons. Outside 9.5 kilometers you don't get icons. So you'll see the icons popping in and out. Obviously I've turned the icons on just to help us. So this is with the easier spotting. This is with the easier spotting. You're looking at the easier spotting. There's an icon there, and there's a plane. And those icons disappeared again. So you get the idea about that. I won't belabor the point. I can see two aircraft there circling, and they're 10 k's away. I can only just see them, and they're kind of very hard to see. Bear in mind they're fighter planes 10 kilometers away or more. So that pretty much is that. I didn't think I was going to be this far away from them as I fly past them. We've also got the sun behind me over there, so I'm not flying into them. If I was flying into them from this direction going towards the sun, it'd be a different kettle of fish. It'd be really hard to see anything because the sun's there. So again, I'm flying away from them now, and I'm well past 10 kilometers away from them now, and I can see one plane. How many planes are there? There's about 12 planes there, about a dozen. So right now in that volume of air, you've got around about 12 planes. You've also got 6 artillery, 3 German and 3 Allies artillery firing up at the planes. You wouldn't know it, would you? So bear in mind this is on the easier setting. Easier as in assisted long distance visibility of aircraft. I think it's called alternate setting. It's a tick box in the difficulty settings just before you start a mission. You can select the realism or the difficulty or whatever, and there's a bunch of tick boxes that come up. One of them is alternate. I can't remember the exact phrase, but it's got alternate written in it, and that basically means easier to see long distance. So you're looking at the easier to see long distance right now. And so you want to zoom out so that you can actually see everything. In fact, I probably should have done that whole thing zoomed out. So zoomed out, at least for the most part, there it is there in a zoomed out fashion, gives you a better draw quality of the far off dots of aircraft. And I might turn around and go back the other way. So I can see 2 aircraft there. I estimate I'm probably about 15-20 kilometres away, and I can just see 2 aircraft. Bear in mind, apart from the ones that got shot down, there's 12 aircraft there, plus 6 artillery, AAA. I'll fly a little bit closer to the dogfight if I can, what's left of it, and we'll see what we can see. Yeah, it's pretty important to be zoomed out pretty much fully, or almost fully, so that you can get the benefit of the maximum draw distance. I reckon I can see an aircraft on the horizon at 12 o'clock. And then zooming in, no joy, there he is there. Yeah, I can see 2 aircraft now, 3, 4. So I'm heading straight for them pretty much. They're a little bit to my left, not too much though. Bear in mind this is on the easier setting. Are there any heavies down there? Are there any bombers? Yeah, there's a B-25 there somewhere. There's 2, how many B-25s is there? I think there's 2. One at one of them, so basically the dogfight as it was starting out at 2 levels. One of them at 1,000 metres and the other one at 7,000 metres. Any contrails up there? Not that I can see. I think they would have descended by now. So now I can see a bunch of aircraft. I can see one. There's one on the horizon. There's a bunch of them up above. Might actually want to fly a bit closer to them. I'll go 100. So it's due east, that'll do us. So again, I'm zoomed out, so I can pretty much get maximum kind of view. There's an aircraft there coming into closer view. And there's an icon, so and another, we're getting a good indication of what's there now. I think I can see a flak cloud, I can see flak bursts now. So now that we're within 10 kilometres, suddenly you can see flak bursts, you can see tracer coming up from the ground from the artillery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 aircraft I can see, maybe 8. So as I come at them, hopefully they don't shoot you down. Just coming right at us. Fully zoomed in and fully zoomed out. There's a B-25. Hopefully I don't get shot down. So there's a B-25 within, that's 2 kilometres away. So remember, bomber pilots, this is on the easiest to spot setting. This is on what's in the game called alternate. So before you start flying, you got a settings menu with tick boxes. I think it's realism. I think that's what it's called, and you click on realism or difficulty. It's either difficulty or realism, and then it brings up a bunch of tick boxes like do you want map icons and that sort of thing. And one of them is called alternate visibility, I think, or something, and you hover your mouse over it and it says something like enhances long distance drawing of aircraft. So this is the easier setting. Beyond 10 kilometres, what do they look like? It's supposed to be easier. And it is a bit easier, I guess. You can see things further than 10 kilometres. Before the Bodenplatte update, I believe you couldn't see anything beyond 10 kilometres. Now you can see dots beyond 10 kilometres, which is excellent. The kind of storm in a teacup, in my opinion, and what I'm kind of proposing here, my proposition is that the alternate setting of the 2 settings is the best thing that we have so far, because it makes it more feasible, makes it less difficult to spot other aircraft that are beyond 10 kilometres. So there's 2 post-update settings. There's alternate, and then there's whatever the other one's called, just normal, I guess you'd call it. I don't know, so this is on alternate. I haven't tried it with alternate turned off. So I'm very far away from them now, I can still see them, but of course they're just dots, they're subtle dots. Very subtle dots. If you didn't know it was there and you weren't looking specifically in that area, I don't think you'd really see it. So I'm going to conclude the video there. I hope that was useful. So now I'm going to untick, and now I'm going to go fly again. We'll see what result we get. Alright, here's exactly the same mission I created in the mission editor. I've got the icons turned on. The only difference is I've unticked the tick box for enhanced visibility that's called alternate visibility, alternate spotting. So this should make it harder to see things that are far away. My proposition is that alternate is better than not alternate. So ticking alternate is better than unticking it, because it makes it less difficult to see things that are far away, I believe. And now we're just testing that hypothesis with the more difficult spotting, the more difficult setting, which is alternate unticked. I'm looking. There's a big dogfight raging out there somewhere. There's an icon, so there's one plane within 10 kilometers. And zooming out would give me the best results, so I've got to remember to keep zooming out periodically. Or do I? I think with alternate unticked, the zoom inverse is different. There's a plane there. I can see it flying over the lake, going left to right. And another plane, so I can see 3 planes in total, 4 planes. If I zoom out. Maybe zooming out doesn't have any effect, or less effect. Just seems if I zoom in, there's a flak. Zooming in, I don't know, it's no different. Maybe it's easier. So I can see flat. This is exactly the same track as in the previous video. Flying the same distance to the dogfight. Obviously the movements of the aircraft are different, but the distance that I am from the dogfight is the same. Is there anything to it? Is it any different? Is it any different? I think the only difference is that when you zoom out in this mode, you can't really see anything. But in alternate, switched on, when you zoom out in this mode, you can see some dots that lets you know that there's aircraft beyond icon range, beyond 9.5 kilometres. When we get over the sea, I'll turn around and I'll come back on a easterly head, fly basically right through the dog, and we'll see what happens then, and that'll conclude it. And still see a plane down there, and still see a plane down there. Even I'm fully zoomed in. If I zoom out, how does it go? Can't see anything. Can't see anything. Can't see. Oh yeah, he's out there somewhere. I lost him though. I did see some tracer bursts on this flight compared to the alternate flight, but that could just be the luck of the sometimes the tracer's AAA tracer. Sometimes AAA is firing, sometimes it's not. Alright, so pretty much about now I'm going to turn around, go east, or go over the dogfight, see what happens. This is taking place just south of Amsterdam. Alright, heading due east with zooming in and out. Let's see what we can see. So this would be your basic multiplayer situation in the cockpit, confined to the cockpit, no external view. Obviously I've turned the icons on just to help us out in this experiment. So around those big lakes over there, I think that's where it I think that the major difference with the alternates switched on, from what I'm gleaning here, it might be that when you're zoomed out like this, you can see dots. Whereas in this setting, the more difficult setting, I'm zoomed out and I can't see dots. Of course, at some point I will see dots, and then I'll see icon. But right now, nothing. I think, do I see something there? No. So yeah, I think I definitely prefer alternate switched on of the two options. Okay, so there's some planes. You can see the icons more than the dots. Got a couple of dots there. There's some flak. That plane's gone down. There's a fire. So zoomed out, I can't really see them. They're less than 10 k's. Zoomed in, I can see one pretty well, and the other one's just a speck. Zoomed out, can't really see them at all. Whereas with alternate switched on, I could see them as dots from zoom out like this. So yeah, even though they're within 10 kilometres, I can hardly see them unless I zoom in, then I can see. But with alternate switched on, normally zoomed out like this, you can see those dots pretty clear. Plane down there. There's the flak bursts, maybe 6 k's. That one's 4 kilometres away, I can barely see. I prefer with alternate switched on, I'm certain about that. Just a lot easier to see dots in a scan. Like if I'm zoomed out like this with alternate switched on, and if I scan across the sky, I can see a bunch of dots, even though they're only within 10 kilometres. Whereas with alternate switched off, I zoom around like this, I scan around like this, I can't really, with the icons off, even though they're within 10 kilometres. Can you see a plane there? So if you know where to look, it's good because you can zoom right in, and maybe you can find that dot because you zoomed right in and your zoom works with alternate switched off. But unless you've got icons, you're stuffed. So there they are. See if I can find them. They're 7 kilometres away. They're 7 kilometres away. Where are they? Where are they? I'll try and turn the icon. There they are. So that, yeah. And now they're beyond 10 maybe. Yeah, okay, so alternate means that even stuff that's within 10 kilometres seems to draw easier from what I can tell. As in, alternate switched on seems to more readily draw the dots for you to see when you zoom right out like this, so that you can effectively scan the horizon like that and see dot, 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 dot that are 5, 6, 7 kilometres away. Whereas with alternate unticked, you can scan like that, zoomed out like that, you won't see jack. You won't see anything. If you know where to look with alternate switched off, if you know where to look, you can zoom right in and then you can see it. But how do you know where to look? So yeah, that's an interesting experiment. What do you guys reckon? Write your comment below and let us know. What do you prefer? Alternate ticked, easier to spot, or alternate unticked, harder to spot? This is a Froggy Frog 9000 channel. If you're getting value out of this, subscribe to the channel or support on Patreon, and visit my website froggyfrog9000.com and smash the thumbs up. Cheers.